Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Res, and in this video I want to go in depth on the Stabbomancer skill tree. Now if you watched my previous video, obviously I went over the Graveborn and went in depth on all of their skills, but in this one we're going to switch it up to our other demo character. And I know a lot of you guys are really excited for the Stabbomancer, so I really hope this skill tree lives up to what you guys are waiting for. And this is going to be an in-depth look at every single skill and everything that you need to know about the skill tree. And if you guys would like to see a bunch of other content just like this, be sure to stick around, because they're doing all the normal YouTube stuff. I'm going to be posting a ton of Wonderlands content and dissecting every second of this demo that Gearbox and 2K let me play. As always, all this is subject to change since this is a early build of the game, but I imagine the only thing that would change is just the stats of the skills. The actual skills are probably going to stay the same. All right, starting off with the character's class feat that like every character has is Dirty Fighting. The Fate Maker's critical hit chance is increased. Increased critical hit chance is 30%. So you're just getting a flat 30% increased critical hit chance on the Fate Maker, which is really good. This is going to make everything that you do just have a higher chance to crit, and it's going to really play into what the Stabbomancer actually is going to do. Whereas you had something like the Graveborn really playing to their companion, you're going to have the Stabbomancer playing into crit chance. Now, the first action skill is Ghostblink. The Fate Maker throws a Ghostblade which spins in place, dealing melee damage periodically to nearby enemies based on the Fate Maker's equipped melee weapon. Pressing Q while Ghostblade is active causes it to teleport to the target location and reduces its remaining duration by a small percentage. This action skill is actually really cool. As it says, you basically just click it and it's going to have this like swirling melee that actually is based off your melee weapon, which is again cool because there's random melee weapons in the game. And you can move it, which does reduce its duration, but it's just a really good like AoE action skill. Plus it actually does do some okay single target damage, because you can just throw it on an enemy and while it's hitting them you just have extra damage on them. Then we have their other action skill from the shadows. The Fate Maker enters stealth, turning invisible. While in stealth, all damage dealt is automatically a critical hit, but critical hits still reduce damage. This is kind of like fade away from Flak. You go invisible and you get constant crits for 8 seconds, but you do actually get reduced critical hit damage, which is kind of a negative benefit. But I would imagine when you get to in-game builds, that's probably not even going to matter, and just having the ability to crit all the time is just going to be insane. But all right, let's get into the skills themselves. First, we have Arsenal. Melee damage is increased, spell damage increased, and gun damage is increased. This is just a flat out skill that's increasing every aspect of your damage pretty much, and you're getting really good benefits from this. The Stabbomancer is really just based around doing crits with everything. It's not really just specific to like a sniper or melee. They kind of just good with everything, but they are a glass cannon style character and you have to be aware of that. So then we have Haste. Melee attack speed is increased and movement speed is increased, and when the Fate Maker casts a spell, this bonus is doubled for a duration. So you're getting a bunch of melee attack speed, movement speed. Really fun. You're gonna be running around just being able to hit everything. Then we have Potent Potions. Status effect damage is increased and status effect duration is increased. So it's actually going to increase your status effects, which is really good. It's going to pair really well with exploit their weakness, because whenever the Fate Maker applies a status effect to an enemy, the affected enemy takes increased damage from all sources for its duration. This effect can stack per unique status effect, so you're going to be able to stack a constant debuff on enemies doing whatever element that you have, and you're going to be able to melt enemies. This skill is going to be crazy, and I think pairing it with something like Potent Potions so you can apply the status effects a lot easier is going to be insane. Like, I actually think this skill is actually going to be insanely broken, and the fact that it's really high into the skill tree is kind of crazy. It's kind of like Harmageddon from Borderlands 3, but like way better. So then we have Swift Death. While moving, the Fate Maker gains increased damage dealt. The faster you move, the greater the bonus. So now, again, since you have more movement speed, you're going to be able to just run around and do more damage, which is really cool. Then we have Follow-Up. Whenever the Fate Maker deals gun damage to an enemy, the Fate Maker's next melee attack deals increased damage. This is also really cool. So you're doing a bunch of gun damage. You can run up to an enemy and melee them. You get a bunch of melee damage. Now we have Nimble Fingers. Whenever the Fate Maker deals melee damage, their fire rate and spell damage are increased for duration. So obviously this is going to pair well with this. So you get some gun damage, you get melee enemy. Now you're proccing this to get more fire and spell damage. Then you cast your spell to get more movement speed and melee damage. You're getting constant debuffs all the time. You kind of see where I was talking about how they're kind of just all around character that can do everything really fast, so they are a glass cannon. Now, Shadow Step, Kill Steal. The Fate Maker's next melee attack is guaranteed critical hit for a short duration. So you're going to guarantee a critical hit for your melee, which is really good. Now we have Sneak Attack. Critical hit damage is increased. So just literally just more critical hit damage. This is going to negate the, you know, action skill negative critical hit. Plus, you're just going to get more critical hit damage in general. Then we have Elusive. The Fate Maker can now shoot and sprint at the same time. The Fate Maker gains a chance to evade incoming damage while moving. The faster they move, the greater the bonus. So now you can sprint and shoot, which is obviously going to pair really well with something like Swift Death because, you know, while moving, the Fate Maker gains increased damage. Kind of like Zane from Wonderlands 3. But you also have a chance to evade damage. And the faster you move, the better bonus you're going to get. So that's really, really cool as well. Now we have Contagion. Whenever the Fate Maker applies a status effect, there's a chance it spreads to nearby enemies. If there are no enemies nearby, apply a different random status effect to the initial enemy instead. Again, really, really good. Like, you're gonna be able to spread elements everywhere, which is going to pair well with exploit their weakness. Plus, if there isn't, you're going to apply another effect on them, which again will proc exploit their weakness, and you're just going to be able to do a lot of damage. But now we also have Alchemical Agent. Melee critical hits apply a random status effect, and if you go back up to, you know, kill skill, getting a kill is going to guarantee a critical hit. Then you're going to be able to apply a melee status effect, which again will proc exploit their weakness, and you're going to be able to just destroy an enemy. Then we have 1,000 cuts. Critical hits gain increased damage dealt for a duration. This effect can stack. Melee critical hits grant additional stacks. So now you get critical hits, you're getting even more damage dealt. And when you get melee critical hits, you're getting even more stacks to get even more damage dealt. So you can see where getting a bunch of crits and debuffs is just going to be insane. Now their final skill is Executioner's Blade. Gun and spell critical hits have a chance to create an ethereal blade above the target that will impel them after a short delay. Ethereal blades do melee damage based on the Fate Maker's equipped melee weapon. So you have a 20% chance to literally just have blades rain down on an enemy whenever you crit with a gun or spell, which is going to be really, really easy to do, obviously, with this character. And you're going to have 100% of the melee damage just being applied. So this is going to be kind of like your gun is just doing melee damage. Plus, if everything else in this skill tree procs with this, you know, melee thing, like, you know, your melee is going to grant a critical hit, you know, you guarantee the critical hit. This is going to be insane. Like the amount of melee bonuses you're going to get, the amount of crit bonuses you're going to get, this skill literally might be the most broken skill in the entire game. I am very, very excited to see some in-game Stabbomancer builds, and as always, you're definitely going to see them on this channel, so be sure to stick around when the game fully launches. I'm going to be posting a ton of content. Super, super excited to see the crazy things. If this did make you want to play the Stabbomancer more, let me know in the comments. Or if you were a fan of the Stabbomancer and you kind of leaning towards something else now, because after you saw this, you maybe thought it was a little lackluster, let me know as well. And again, remember, there is multi-class. You're going to be able to have 2 classes in general. I'm actually going to take a look at the Graveborn and Stabbomancer as if they were a multi-class, so we can see some of the crazy combinations we can do. So look out for that video. And I will be having a pure gameplay video of the Stabbomancer posting tomorrow. If you guys just want to see some gameplay. But that is going to be all for me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.